Moms, they can be great. They can also be a little much sometimes. Has this mom crossed the line? So this is the mother of Avery Leilani. She is a new college student and then got this text from her mom the week of orientation. Let's take a look at it. This is mom with shirtless dudes. She also added the caption, I made some friends, don't wait up. So mom just kind of went and made friends everywhere. Now this is according to the writer at Jezebel. She says, now when you become a mom, you're imbued with the power of shamelessness. That may lead to embarrassment for your offspring from time to time, but the rewards for you are great. We should all try to be like moms of teenagers before we actually become them. At the very least, you might get included in a fun game of touch football. You saw this text back and forth. What did you think when you saw it?
I agree with Jezebel's sort of takeaway on this story, which is that there's sort of a level of shamelessness of like, I don't care if I look cool or whatever, to parents at a certain age, moms, but also parents in general, that I think is always really cool. My dad has never been afraid to go, if he sees someone that is doing some sort of a hobby that he likes, to just be like, oh hey, like I do that too. Or a shirt, like my mom loves Paul McCartney. She sees someone wearing like a Paul McCartney shirt, she'll probably be like, oh my God, I saw the Back in the World tour. And then you make a friend. And it's sort of a thing that I think is very cool, and it seems like the daughter took this in stride. I don't think this was out of line at all. I think she's probably the most popular girl at her school right now, so thanks, mom.
Really quick question. Did anyone watch Bobby's World? Your mom completely sounds like the mom from Bobby's World. Like, don't you know, 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
It's a Howie Mandel.
That sounded Jamaican.
Listen, my
Midwestern, it's supposed to be Midwestern.
My Minnesota, I've been accused of sounding Jamaican in my Wow, I was trying to throw shade and Grace threw it back. Good job, G. Work. That was amazing.
All this time I thought her mom was Jamaican, so that
don't shut no, man. We're not cultural appropriation, you guys. My mom is this mom. My mom,
really?
and so yeah, absolutely, and I love it because I am my mom's son, so I'm always gonna think of it with people too. Growing up, my mom would have for sure drop us off at the roller skating rink or wherever we're at, get out, and all of a sudden she'd be on the rink in skates. But
really?
Now that I'm older, I love that because I shared so many awesome memories with my mom. My mom was a drill team coach when I was growing up, and me and my twin brother were the only guys on the drill team coach. And we used to slay the beast. And my mom was like, get out there, boys. But that was just her way of connecting with us and staying close to her children. This mom is funny because that's probably just who she is intrinsically. She's just, the life of the party.
So here's the thing is like, moms were kids once too.
Right.
Yeah.
And either they have always been this way or they went through their childhood and didn't do this kind of stuff, grew up, and as this article said, like there comes a point when you're covered in like your kid's poop and you're breastfeeding in public, you're like, I don't have time to care. And then maybe that opens up this freedom where it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna go do whatever. And I'm sure to the kid, it's absolutely mortifying, or they've had to out of necessity deal with it. But to these people who are like, oh my God, that mom's pretty cool. She wants to play touch football with us.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
I was most impressed with the picture quality because my mom was that person who would go to everyone. But at the time, we didn't have, selfies, yeah, self-facing cameras. So she would tell me about it later, but every selfie I get from my mom is like literally of her eyes. Like I'm just impressed that she was able to get that many semi-naked guys, like with those guys, yeah.
I will say though, mom, there is a fine line between when moms are a little bit too revealing. I remember one summer, a teacher was talking to my mom and said, oh, Jason's voice has started to change. You know, the whole puberty conversation you have over this like from 7th to 8th grade where you're like, hi, are you? And my mom was like, well, he's becoming a man. I mean, I got, we're gonna have the sex talk soon. But yeah, his voice is a little high pitched now. And then my mom asked me like, are you growing? Are you sprouting anything down there? Like, who's, and then so it gets better because I have to have a physical, and guess who's in the room when I'm having the physical? My mom, because I am a minor, of course, and she's like, yep, I knew it. I'm just like,
no.
Yes.
No,
right?
No, I always wanted my mom to come to the doctor.
But you're a girl
with me.
though. It's different when your mom's seeing your
I never asked my
junk.
dad.
And she's like, oh, you have pubes now. It's like,
Mom.
Look,
Don't say pubes.
you guys can relate at home. Don't act like your mom has not gone with you when you played team sports so physical and seen your junk. It's not gross. It happens, but it's embarrassing, audience. I'm sorry.
So what's the most? So that sounds like a pretty embarrassing moment.
Beyond.
Anyone want to share any embarrassing moments that their mom has put them through? You got one?
This is recent, actually. Mom, I love you. I know you're watching because she loves me to death. But I visited, and you know when you fly, face just breaks out, right? I was on a plane for like 6 hours. I was a mess. The first thing she says to me was, wow. So she takes me to Ulta, which is like the beauty supply shop.
Yeah.
She runs into someone that she knows, of course, who happens to work there. My daughter needs some help. I mean, look at her face.
Oh,
this
Mom.
was just last year. Thanks, Mom.
Wow.
Thank you.
I think
Right.
You don't want to have an acne conversation ever, let alone outside the bounds of your 14.
A year. Look at your face. What is happening here?
So my parents are a little bit older, and my mom, like her lingo is sort of dated in some ways. And one time my cousin came over with a friend of his who had a big beard, and it was me. And then we talked for a little bit, and he left. And there was me, my brother, my friend, my mom. And my mom was like, "What did you think of cousin Billy's friend RJ?" And I was like, "I mean, he seemed fine." She's like, "He's a bit of a cunt face, don't you think?" And I was like, what? And I was like, Mom, like that is the worst. And she's like, no, I don't mean, because it's the beard, it looks a little bit. I'm like, I know what it means.
Whoa, what did it mean?
Wait, now I don't know what it means. I thought it was an attitude thing.
Totally
now I'm thinking his face looked like a vagina.
Like actually,
Yes, she was like, I know. I mean, he was pretty nice, but the beard, it's a little bit of a, he had cunt. I was like,
face.
Mom. She wasn't even
insulting him. Like not even.
She wasn't. It was the beard that put her off.
She really is the Bobby's girl.
And the more that she was like explaining it to my brother and my friend and I, we were like, just less. And she was like, I don't think it's that bad. It's when you have a cunt. Mom, stop saying it.
Your mouth is the cunt, sweetheart. Your mouth is the cunt.
And I had to go around to like her sisters, my aunts, and be like, can someone please tell my sweet older mom that you can't, cunt is not a word you just say around your friends now. Like, I don't know what it was like in the 50s.
Right, the JJ face.
The JJ face.
I'm more impressed that she said cunt though.
Yeah.
Like your mom seems so like nice and just like, but she doesn't use that word.
That implies that there was a time when it was just fine to say cunt.
I think there was during the Great Depression when she was in her 20s. I don't.
Things were bad. Cunts, by comparison, were totally pleasant.
Sally Jane down the street is a real cunt.
Today was a real cunt.
Maybe in Jamaica where she grew up.
Maybe in Jamaica.